Let's gather round the campfire and sing our campfire song. Do, 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 do.
All right,
Come on,
so
guys.
No, I'm not singing that. I'm making more s'mores.
Yeah.
It's got part of my last name in it. Okay, I got to make them.
S'mores,
Well,
s'mores,
these s'mores are making my ass awfully sticky right now. What'd you put in the chocolate? They're laxatives.
Yes, they're laxative. Angie, why are you rocking back and forth?
You okay, Angie?
They're here.
Wait, who?
Who?
Wait, who's here?
I'm scared.
Oh, shit.
Domino's new hotspot delivers here.
Oh! Okay, cool. Hello, Free Rotation Nation. You are here with Moreland and my spooky campfire stories. We have a great atmosphere in here. It is apparently, as Becky says, spoopy.
It's kind of cold in here too. That fan's fucking making my legs freeze.
It's
off.
the wind.
No, it's fucking
We're out
cold.
in the woods. It's not a fan. It's the wind.
My bad. I didn't immerse myself into my imagination. I'm a fucking screw up.
As everyone can tell, I'm here with my usual usual suspects. The queen of spoopy, Becky.
Spoopy. What you can't see is that I have little tassels on my shirt, so I'm spinning them like spoopy.
Kind of like titty tassels.
Spoopy.
I was going to say she's more like a spoopy cheerleader.
Our overlord, producer of the
Running
Chi Chi Ha
away.
Ha Ha and the Running Away, Angie.
Hello.
And the rookie with the fancy hair.
No, and Bobby and his haunted pompadour.
Hey.
Oh, is it a haunted or then?
Yes.
Yes, it is now.
That sounds like a Pokemon name, and I'm uncomfortable.
It's the new evolution of Haunter. You either go to Gengar or Hauntador.
I don't have anime here. It's way better fucking looking than anime here. Hate all of you. Why the fuck am I doing
This
this?
just got a lot spoopier with
Right?
his outburst.
Very scary.
Give him another s'more.
He's had too many already.
Shove that shit in my mouth, Morlin.
Yeah. Here you go.
Ew,
He licked my finger. He licked my finger.
Why did he put his penis in his mouth? He asked for a s'more.
He licked my.
He had marshmallow fluff on it.
He asked for. he asked for S'moreland.
Gotcha.
Can we actually talk scary stuff now?
Yes.
I
Sorry.
kind of find that spooky.
That's homophobic.
This first 10 minutes is very spoopy for certain people.
All right.
All right. Well, Becky, since you're wanting to be very spoopy, why don't you kick us off with a spoopy story?
You mean the spoopiness that we experienced last week? Because that shit was scary.
Sure, we can do that too.
I was thinking that would actually be because
the Guilds of Ravnica pre-release was very spoopy.
That was very scary. That hot sauce.
Oh Jesus, that hot sauce!
It was worth it though. We got free packs out of it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And my poop wasn't that hot afterwards, so it was fine.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still dying. I don't think it's gotten out of my system.
I wasn't talking about the Guilds of Ravnica pre-release, guys. Do you not remember the fact that we went?
I have blocked the rest of that out of my head, so I don't remember it intentionally.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about it because Morlin's a pussy.
So, just for everybody who's aware, because I think that there will be some clips in this, we decided that since last year, we, or whatever was out there, messed up all of our audio and video, we came prepared this time. We went back to the creepy bridge, the screaming bridge, and we went back into the field where the little girl allegedly died. So, we got some stuff. I'll tell you that. We got some stuff. And we all had some weird-ass experiences.
Hey, Angie, since the little girl haunts your car and stuff, can we do like EVPs in your trunk?
There's 14 hours worth where she turned the recorder on, remember?
Jesus fucking Christ, I
Yep.
remember that shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Moreland, you seem like you didn't feel so hot after all of that.
We get done with we're wrapping up the whatever we were doing on the bridge, and I start feeling sick.
He looked sick.
Sick to my stomach. I was
Like
tired.
the buzzing in your head.
I was tired, buzzing in my head, sick to my stomach, just did not feel well at all.
I didn't actually feel anything out there. But it was so strange because the first time we went out there, it wasn't as creepy out. And this is the Screaming Bridge. So Angie does give a little bit of a scenario if you've listened previously to our old episodes. TLDR, there was a woman who ended up crashing off that bridge and she lost her baby and she was seeking out her baby. They say even in the afterlife, she's still seeking it out. Well, come to find out also, there's a lot of satanic rituals there that we didn't know about.
Which we didn't know before we went. So anything we caught on that recorder, we were innocent of. We wouldn't have known to make these noises and sounds.
So
Right.
there were some weird noises, but it was so weird going back out there because the first time didn't feel as creepy. But this time it was like as soon as we got there, it was like the presence just sat there. You could just feel it in the atmosphere. And I don't know if it was just because there was no moon, but it turned out there was a moon because when we got out after we were done, the moon was right up in the sky.
Yeah, it's just
It's
probably
like a 3/4 waning moon.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
angle we were at on the bridge, we just couldn't see.
Hey, we should go back on a new moon and just get real fucked.
No,
That's
I'm
such
good.
a bad idea.
That's such
I'm
a good idea.
I'm full-
Like y'all can have that. I am not going
hold
back
your
out
hand.
there. No.
I don't know everybody else. I know Moreland said he felt sick. I know, and Angie really didn't. I don't know. You seemed like you were already on edge by the time we got out there.
Oh yeah, she was.
I wasn't nervous when we got out there because we've been out there before and nothing's happened.
Right.
The only thing I was nervous about was the big mud hole that Bobby almost fell into
Yeah.
when we were first heading out there.
True.
And then we get out there and suddenly, like, the hair on my arms rises and you can hear in the audio, which I'll play right after this. I say, I don't feel right. Every hair on my body stands up, and then, not 2 seconds after that, you can hear this noise. Like, look, you see the goosebumps on my arm?
Jeez, holy shit.
Because you're scared.
That A is either a baby crying or be a goat blatting, because it's like, eh.
Yeah. Which they said
And
that.
it's coming from below.
Which part of the legend turned out, going back and looking through some of the stuff, because the day after we went out, I decided I was going to go and actually look up some stuff. Funny enough, bridge is pretty freaking famous for being haunted. But somebody also went back and found out that there was several goat killings out on that bridge.
Nice.
Because and apparently, I don't know how old that post was, the pentagram that they were using to sacrifice is still there. So there had been left several hanging goats off of the bridge after a sacrifice had happened. So either Angie heard a baby or heard a goat being sacrificed.
And it's funny enough, right after that audio, Bobby says, shh, did y'all hear that? And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I did. But
I'm glad I couldn't hear
It
any
was
of that.
wild.
Well, I was going to say on top of it, at one point, we still couldn't figure this out after it was done, but going back and listening to the audio, there was one part where me and Moreland were standing on one side of the bridge. Angie, Bobby, Aaron, and Aiden were all standing on the other side of the bridge. And simultaneously, we all heard on our sides a weird splash noise.
Are you here with us right now?
No rippling of the water, nothing to that extent. Going back, listening to the audio, you can hear that splash. And we still can't
And
explain
is
what it was.
loud.
Yeah.
It was pretty loud.
Which they probably just heard the splash. That splash was
That
creepy.
splash, right there.
That splash was creepy.
But there was no rippling in the water. There was nothing to explain.
Nothing went into the
Right.
water.
And looking at the lore back, reading it, they say that people who go out there hear splashing that can't be explained. They can see things standing in the water that can't be explained.
Remember
We
what we
were
saw?
Yeah.
we were talking about we could see the outline of the truck.
And the woman was standing on top of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see her.
So you're saying I shouldn't go skinny dipping in this?
I probably
I
wouldn't.
would
I mean, unless
recommend
you're
it.
interested in being haunted by a ghost.
Yeah, I'm not.
You remember how sticky your butt felt
Yeah.
with the s'mores? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot stickier.
Ooh, ectoplasm feels that good? God bless.
But
Jesus.
I don't know. This time around, I didn't feel as scared as I did last year. But this year, it felt more oppressive. Like there was something out there this year.
And this year, I did feel scared. Well, maybe not scared, but just
On
I
edge.
feel that something was there.
I was about to say last year we didn't go onto the bridge. Only Scoob and Kayla went to the bridge.
Oh, that's a good point.
You remember last year we heard splashing too.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't equate, but it sounded like somebody walking. And
yeah, it sounded like somebody walking through
I'm not
going to
play this audio because we were all talking, and I can't really pinpoint out, but you can hear something walking in the water, like directly under us, that we didn't hear.
And you couldn't see the ripples in the water or nothing.
But
It was
you can
perfectly
hear it, like,
still all night.
Because we're focused on the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you can hear something walking. And it was right at that point that Bobby said, I thought I saw something at the end of the bridge. But all of our lights were off. And he says, I thought I saw eyes in the woods.
Yeah, no, when we got there, when me and Becky heard the splash, that's about the time I started feeling sick, because I swore up and down I saw two, like, glowing lights in the tree line that I didn't feel comfortable with the entire time. And that's about the time I started to feel sick.
Well, I'm going to play this clip.
You alright, buddy? Yeah. Little anxiety.
And as you can hear, so Moreland, right when you're saying that you don't feel well,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all of us are on edge. Even at this point, you said you didn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
And all of our hair was up on our body. We're walking back and forth, and this sound starts like kind of like a heartbeat. It's like whoosh, 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 and then there's a growl, and then we continue walking, and we don't hear it with our ears, even though Bobby says it felt like something just whispered in my ear. The growl is behind and down, back towards where you go under the bridge where the woods were. And then you can hear the growl at the same time back way behind us. A woman screams. And then right as we get to our cars and we're talking about turning the recorder off, you can plain as day hear a woman behind us go, no. We didn't hear it at the time of.
Right.
We're oblivious.
And the thing is, like, with Bobby holding the recorder, because he held it for the majority of the time, none of the weird noises, like the boof, 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 didn't start until the weirder noises started.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
So
Yeah, fuck that bridge. I was chain smoking.
You were
entire time.
You are the one that's like, I want to go back closer to Halloween.
I do, but I had to gather my
I
courage.
would love to go to the bottom of the bridge. The first time we went out, we did go to the bottom and we caught stuff on. She was,
right.
That's when she gave us her name, but I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not me.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Mm-mm.
Be a pal.
Mm-mm.
Don't be a pussy.
Nope.
They
I
can't
think-
hurt you. They're ghosts. Demons can hurt you, not the
I'm
ghosts.
pretty
Speaking of
sure
demons.
that it's a demon. That growl,
I'm pretty sure something, whatever the crap it was, got in my car, and we didn't even take my car.
Just buy a protective talisman with your birthstone in it. You'll be fine. Like $10 on Amazon. I bought one. Mine's Paradot.
You mean Peridot?
Sure.
The growl didn't sound like that. It had like a.
That was me. That was
How
me,
about
by the
this?
way.
But it had
This
like
was
a
me with
roll.
my growl of
Moral,
Bobby.
how about this? I will buy your protective talisman and let you use the holy water I bought.
No.
You're fine, dude. It's like a
No.
sword and shield. You're dope.
And I still need to go through my video and my photos, which I might do on stream just to go through and see what we can catch. Because, you know, I took a lot of video at the bridge, but we took a lot of video down on the road where we thought the little girl had died. And it was like a switch situation. That's what killed me, is like this year it was switch. The bridge wasn't as bad. Our bridge wasn't as bad last year, but that other area was, I don't know. But then, like, at the same time, I didn't actually go out into the forest. Not the forest, the field with you guys. So.
Fuck that field. That shit, fog and shit, and I felt super uncomfortable in that field.
Well, the fact that we could see, me and Aiden were out there, and we had the moonlight behind us. We could see two shadows, me and Aiden, and then a third shadow. It was a very thin shadow.
And there's those cold spots that fucking low to the ground. That shit was weird.
Cold spots low to the ground. Freaking, I had goosebumps.
Well, she
Cold
likes
chills
you.
the entire time.
Well,
I
I
was
told her to
out
stay
there.
away because I'm
Well,
super uncomfortable.
Not the entire time I was out there, but most of the time I was out there.
It was uneasy, and the thing was, like, it wasn't bad at first. It was a nice night. Once again, it was pretty. And then the fog started rolling in again. It's always when that fog starts coming in that everything
Yes.
starts getting weird.
Maybe
Yes.
John
And
Carpenter
there's no
lives there.
reason for the fog. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
That fog.
If the fog was going to be there, the fog should have been there. This was
Mhm.
this is 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
The fog should have already been there.
It's not humid. It's not wet.
Exactly.
It was a beautiful day.
It-
Gorgeous night.
It was actually kind of chilly,
Yeah.
but there should have the fog should have already have rolled in if it was rolling in because it was already almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I was
So-
wearing my denim jacket. I wasn't cold. I looked cute in it. Fuck off.
I was cold because I was wearing shorts.
Oh, you're a dumbass.
So interestingly
It's
enough,
also Georgia.
and it was 80 degrees at night. So I know it was chilly in the field, but it was 80 degrees.
It was actually warm where I was standing. So it definitely was
Yeah,
cold
we
spots
were
for y'all.
sweating. You guys were just in a cold spot.
Yeah, I was frozen. So of
Interestingly
course it
enough,
didn't help to have a ghost girl right in my freaking anus, basically.
Wow, you're going to jail. That's
Yeah.
statutory.
yeah.
I said a ghost girl,
It's the same thing.
Is it considered statutory if she's been dead for 100 years?
and
Yes.
she was in me. I wasn't in her.
That's still.
That's still legal?
No.
Moreland in real life? Okay, never mind. What were you trying to say, Angie?
Well, the interesting thing about being out in the field with the Ouija board is when it was me, Aiden, and Moreland, there was one point where Moreland kind of like gets lightheaded and falls backwards a little bit. And you can hear Aiden and I comment on the fact that the planchette moved without us, moved across the board. Because as he fell, but what we didn't hear at the time, every time the planchette moved across the board, you can hear it on the recorder. It made a noise.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, Aiden said, "What year were you born?" And she moved down to 1. And then
she
it
did one
slowly did
cue.
to Q. But what we couldn't hear that was happening was the planchette was going,
Oh Jesus,
and I don't know if she was struggling against something to push,
possibly.
but right when it flew out of our hands and we weren't touching it and you fell backwards was when it started going by itself again. It didn't seem to be a struggle, and that's when she spelled out "go."
Yep. Shortly after that, she said, Angie's like, "Should we be here?" And go. Okay, let's go.
Mhm.
So I guess on top of that, I've talked to Bobby about in our area we have old hanging grounds, different places we possibly could go that's in our area. So I would think the whole hanging grounds would be interesting, but the only thing is that I think it's private property.
It is. Yeah.
It's a private property, so we can't go on it. But where else around here? Do you
Warren
think?
House.
The Warren House? Where's? Oh yeah, I've heard about. Have you heard of the Warren House? Is it the one that's all dilapidated and that isn't around anymore? Or is it still?
I think it's still there. When I looked it up, there's a picture of White House, so I assume it's still there. And there was something else nearby too, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Bonnie Castle.
It was an old B&B that used to be
Yeah.
in Grantville.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, you can't go in Bonnie Castle. It's privately owned now.
I
God
wonder if
damn
you
it.
could contact them
Mhm.
though and ask them.
Maybe they used to have ghost tours around Halloween and stuff.
Tell them I'll slip them a 20.
But remember, Grantville was the first place The Walking Dead filmed before they went to Snoy.
Mhm.
So a lot of things are owned by the studio there now, and I
Mhm.
think Bonnie House is one of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was about to say, there's a couple people that my mom and dad go to church with that they use their backyard to
Mhm.
film.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
because like the abandoned prison they were at is in Grantville,
Mm-hmm.
the prison they lived in and
Jeez.
stuff.
Well, is there anywhere else we kind of want to go to?
Yes.
We're starting a ghost hunting society.
I was
Just
about to
FYI.
say, my sister has been to Terminus,
Nice.
and the one spot to where in one of the episodes before they get to Terminus, there's a walker that was up top basically on a lookout, and he hears somebody and he falls and kills himself basically. They saw that little area, and they've been a couple different areas just because my sister loves The Walking Dead, so therefore she went all around Georgia to these spots.
But yeah, there's that place in Canton, that's Satan Church of Canton, right? That's the thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hell's Church.
Hell's Church,
Shit, that's
yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah, no, I'm not going there.
Well,
Don't be a fucking baby,
there's
bro.
another local place here.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
going
yeah, what
there.
is it? Tell me.
Do you remember the house I showed you, Moreland?
I'm not going
We're
there.
not going to that house.
Why not?
have already been in touch. It is an abandoned house. People move in and don't stay longer than a month. They literally abandon their stuff and leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get permission for us to go in there.
If you get permission, more of my problem is the trespassing.
We're not going to trespass.
I know. I'm just saying, I would prefer having permission to get into it.
We're not going to trespass.
But I'm telling you right now, if I get possessed, I'm not going to be a happy camper. I don't think anybody would be. I want to do Hell's Church, and I think we should go back to Savannah. I think we need to go to Savannah and do the Sorrel Weed House.
Mm-hmm.
And do an actual, spend the night stay there.
Yes, they will let you stay in the basement.
And
of
let
the
me tell you
sorority house.
something.
And that's where I caught those orbs
Yeah.
on the thing.
And nothing, it wasn't like the house felt weird, but nothing felt creepier than being in the basement. And it's like it's like there was light, but it was like being swallowed by darkness.
It was so still down there too, and
Is it like a dirt basement or it's like a
It's a legit basement.
Yeah,
it's an old
that's-
antebellum basement.
Yeah, that's where we take Scoob so he can really summon his demon.
Jesus Christ. That's
He-
not the
he
name of
falls-
the demon, by the way.
He falls asleep 10 minutes in.
You know, that's what we caught on the audio is Scoop sleeping underneath the bridge.
that's what
He's
it
a troll.
was.
Makes sense. We got
Troll
there.
under the bridge.
Did it,
troll under the
Obama.
bridge.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well-
Bobby. You have set my mind at ease. I'm still not going out there.
You're fine.
Well, do you want to tell some of your like personal? Okay, so we've told a lot of like the same kind of where we've been, but what about like our own personal scary stories?
Well, we didn't tell like one of the scariest things that happened to us
What?
out on
Out
the
on that road, yeah.
Yeah, when we were standing there with Aaron, and suddenly this pervading scent came.
Yeah, when the fog starts rolling
yeah,
in.
and it was like a predator smell. It had that super musk urine smell.
Wet, nasty dog smell.
Yeah, and that's when we left because this area is known to be dogman sightings.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a little different from Sasquatch, but yeah, out, gone. Goatman, no.
Yeah, no, just gone.
No.
Well, on my way home, I decided I'm not going to go through there. I'm not going to take that road home. I'm going to take the back roads home that is technically a back road too.
Another
but
back road.
I'm going to take a different back road. I'm going to go out towards somewhere else. Well, I make the turn before my road, and I go through a small patch of fog. From that point till about a mile and a half, I had goosebumps, cold chills, and my window was up, so I wasn't cold or anything. Driving, I finally go under a street light. You know, usually whenever you go under a street light, you can, if you look in your rearview mirror, you can kind of see like the glimpse of the front of your face or whatnot. I saw myself from the top of my head to about mid-torso sitting in my back seat.
Oh my god. I would have been like, huh.
I did not turn around.
Were you smiling?
I
mean you in the back seat.
I don't know. I didn't turn around. I still had a good 2.5, 3, 4 miles to go.
You just never looked in your rear view again.
I did not look in my rearview mirror. I actually grabbed it and turned it to the side so I couldn't look in it. I did not look in my back seat. I got out. I got my groceries. I got out of my car finally when I parked. I ducked down, go around my car, put my key in the lock to open my trunk so I can open my trunk so I can actually stand up a little bit and not actually see in my back seat. This is how much I did not want to see in my back seat. Grabbed my groceries out, had a box of noodles. I dropped 6 packs of noodles 18 times. I swear to God. I kept dropping them. I'm like,
More like
Jesus
the white girl
Christ.
in the movies.
Yeah.
That's what your heel would have broken.
You'd
more
fucking
than-
die.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you're
I
dead.
dropped them. It took me like freaking 10 minutes to get inside. And then we have a kitchen window. And out the kitchen window, I can see my car. I didn't even look out the kitchen window. I sat.
Because what if you were standing beside, like It Follows? No, nobody.
Yeah,
needs
that shit's scary.
Nobody needs.
Well, I was going to say, I think what's creepy about where we live in general is that a lot of the stuff that's around here is still very antebellum time. Like, we had a lot of Civil War battles here. So I think that the energy within our area, when that fog starts rolling in, regardless, I think the energy is always just creepy. And I think that, I don't know, like where I live, I don't think I got scared as much because I literally live in a haunted house, I think. And even Angie's been to my house and been like, I'm not going up. Like, you've been there. Like, at night, I've seen, like, this blonde woman in a black dress just standing on the staircase. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but you can stay there because I'm going this way.
I was about to say, my favorite part is I didn't have to go to work for the next 2 days.
You just didn't ever look in your car.
I didn't go toward my window. I didn't look in my car. Nothing. I go to work after those 2 days, and I had to work late. It's getting dark now. Earlier, luckily my boss happened to be there, and we spent it was till about 9 o'clock. We were out there talking, and that's when I go, yeah, I really just don't want to go to my car right now. He's like, why? I'm literally scared shitless of my car right now. He went over there with me and everything, and he's like, yeah, I feel a bad energy coming from your car. I'm like, yeah. And so he got in and said a cleansing prayer for it, and, for me and for it and everything. So
I told you, I would
hopefully whatever the hell was in the back of my car
I'll
is
go full
not
pagan
there.
on you and fix your car for you. I mean, we've had to do that for Angie's house, one of Angie's or Angie's old house. I've done it in my house because I'm creeped out by the ghosts in it. It's sometimes you just get negative energy that follows you, and it stays with you. Even now, sometimes we can hear weird stuff in this house. We're outside camping, but if we were at a house,
well, the ghost lady, not the ghost lady, but the tour guide in Decatur was talking to me about ghosts and when you can see them and why they disappear so suddenly. And she was talking about how, everybody has an energy field.
Sure.
And the ghosts are energy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they attune to you and you can attract, and they can, like magnets. You can do this or this. And she used to think of energy as on a sound wave.
By the way, that was Angie putting her hands together and then pulling her hands apart for
Sorry.
this and
Yeah.
this.
So what you're saying is, if we find a flamboyant ghost, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I also think I think when you start having experiences like we've been having, I think you become more open to seeing things. Bobby, you said yesterday you saw somebody walking.
Yeah, it's us. Well, so the thing is, I don't know if it was a ghost or whatever, but I saw a guy in a suit, like a charcoal suit. I was driving down 74 back home, and I saw a guy in a suit walking on the side of the road, and I was like, I didn't really pay him any mind to it, but then I stopped at the Shell and got cigarettes. I'm like, that's really weird, because it's not cold out, so I don't know why he's wearing the suit, and I didn't see a car parked on the side of the road, because I'm like, if anything, maybe his car broke down, I should go help him. So I turned around. I drove 5 miles down and went back. I didn't see shit.
Yeah, I think when you start to experience things, you start to see things more that you wouldn't necessarily pay more attention to. I think with going out, being in living in a place that where I live is actually historically known to be haunted. Not haunted, but it was an antebellum plantation, slave land. So they always talked about how, this whole place was known to be slave quarters and a plantation house and all of that. So I have seen that woman just standing in the stairs. I've seen her I'll be sitting out on our porch, and we have a little sunroom that we built that used to be part of our actual porch. So there's a window that connects to our kitchen that you can look into. And I swear I would be watching TV and I see something on my peripheral thinking it's my mom because my mom's blonde.
Yeah.
And I look over and it's this face just sitting there. And then it's gone. And I'm like, okay, I can't tell what that is, but I'm hoping that maybe it just played a trick on my eyes. But I have come home and by myself and seen it. And I've only been the only one. And I don't know if that's just because I'm open to those experiences.
You know what it is? It's like, oh, it's a fella honky. Let me go be friends with her. Honky, honky, honky.
Those have always, I don't know. I've always been down for receptiveness of experience. And then being at Angie's old house, where we've been actually physically thrown out of a house because of a poltergeist, that you get to a point where you're like, okay, I can't really chalk that up to actual explaining of anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Angie, when you're in your old house and you had the poltergeist, did you call in a sweet little old lady that's like, don't worry, child, this house is clean now?
No, the thing about a poltergeist haunting is that it's in stages, and it gives you a chance to get used to it. So it starts off just moving stuff.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are my keys? Oh, I thought I left my shoes by the door, but obviously I put it here. That cabinet door just flew open and a cup flew out. And then, so you get used to it.
Must have been the wind.
Yeah.
Must have been the wind.
Well, then you're like, oh, it's just a ghost. It just will you stop throwing shit out of the cabinet? It's like you get used to it.
Right.
And then the next thing is, that house was hearing kids laughing and seeing handprints on a window that was 2 or 3 stories off the floor, because the house was up on. It was like a New Orleans style house, like a hurricane house.
Yeah.
Which was really weird in and of itself for it to be here.
Yeah.
But so this window sits way off the ground, and there would be little kids' handprints on it. And then you get used to that, and it escalates again. And the next thing you hear is just sounds. There's boogers on the wall.
Ew.
Like, for some reason, I don't know what it is about poltergeists, but they love bodily fluids. There'll be. I came home one day and there was shit from my front door all the way to the kitchen. This was one of the last things, but it was literally like foot deep in shit.
Yeah.
Like,
just
what
burn
is
it down.
this?
Burn it down.
We
Fuck
talked.
that shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
and there
so
were
I
spiders.
keep hearing something
It's a cat.
crackling and everything, and it's
the
Becky's.
fire.
It's my fire.
It's Becky's phone fire.
Yeah, the phone fire.
I'm like, why do I hear crackling? Oh, I got it now.
I was okay in that house, even with the spiders. It got inundated with black widows, and Aaron came over to help me. And he was like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "There's hundreds of black widows."
What the fuck? Jesus
Ouch.
Christ!
But the reason I was done with this house, I wasn't getting hit in the head, and Becky seeing it, like, my whole head flew forward, my hair.
and hearing the boots on the porch.
Somebody walking on the porch. We look out the peephole, and there's someone looking in. Open the door. There's nobody there. But I got up, and okay, going back a little bit, I had just broken up with the ex, and Becky and I had just really started seeing each other, but I couldn't really afford that house by myself, so the gas got turned off, and the water was heated with gas. So it's a really cold October. It's freezing, absolutely freezing. So
It's like the last time we have a cold October too.
Yeah. So whenever I take
October
the
cold in
shower
Georgia?
in the
What?
morning, I like lean my head forward and just get cold on my hair because at this point in time I was going to work at 4 a.m. and I had 2 jobs. So I'm in the shower and it's really early in the morning, and I've already heard voices talking in the hall. I had shit thrown at me and nearly killed me, and I'm pretty much done anyway. I
Right.
just don't know where to go. And then I hear something in the hall like a dragging, and I'm in the shower and I'm like, just ignore it. Because at this point I'd read it said just ignore. If you have a poltergeist haunting, you have to ignore it. Because if you acknowledge it in any way and let it know what scares you, it like latches onto that. And so then I'm rinsing my hair. Remember, it's cold. I'm like trying not to get under the water, washing off. And then the light in the bathroom goes out.
Oh, fuck that. I'm
The door
done.
opens and the light in the bathroom goes out. And directly across from the bathroom is that hallway window that had handprints. So, of course, I wouldn't have the bathroom door open. You'd have to close it or people would see you in the shower.
Right.
The door opens, light goes off, and I can hear something sliding across the floor. And I think I just kind of went out of my head. I did not react in fear. Finished rinsing off. I turned the shower off, got out, wrapped the towel around me, calmly walked over and turned the light on, got dressed, and never went back. So we had the power turned off and everything, and I guess it was probably about a week later because I had rented some furniture and it was going back, and I went over to wait on them to come pick it up, and the neighbors were out and they said, who asked where I had been and stuff, and said, well, the person who's been staying in your house is really loud, screaming, having the TV turned all the way up. I was like, there's no electricity. And about that time, I mean, you can see the TV in the bedroom is just flicking through channels. And there's no power to that house.
Fuck that.
And you can hear, like, the TV is so loud, and they're like, yeah, there's somebody in that house. I hate to tell you this, but there's somebody in there. So the people came to pick up the furniture, and it's 2 black men. I open the door to go in the house, and one of them steps at the door and says, I'm not going in this house. He said, I'm sorry, man. He's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not going in this house. And the other guy's like, but we gotta get the furniture. And the guy's like, I'm not going in there.
Burn the house down.
So,
Yes.
Just burn it down.
they didn't get all the furniture. And all of my stuff's left in there. Because when I went with Aaron and he walked in and saw all the black widows, he's like, nope. So I literally left pretty much everything I owned. I had a couple of changes of clothes. My cats.
Yeah.
And like 2 magic decks.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Right.
But yes.
Hey, I left all my Warhammer stuff though.
Oh, fuck.
And the Warcraft decks, remember
Yeah.
those I had?
Oh.
Oh, it sucked.
It just never dawned on me how creepy that house was until the very last night when you were getting the last cat we went to pick up. There's 2 more cats in the house. We were like trying to move everything in transition. And we opened the door because one cat was kind of an indoor-outdoor cat, so she kind of lived outdoor anyways. We opened the door to let the cats out and just kind of check everything. And the lights are on, which you had already turned the lights off.
I already had lights.
And all of a sudden, it's like you hear this like noise, like a ooh, and like suddenly the door slammed in our face. The
Like
front door
hit me in the nose, and
Like
it
something
said "get out." Hit me in the
flew
nose,
out.
like my nose started
Yeah.
bleeding. I thought I'd broken my nose.
Wow.
and slammed the door. I was like, I'm done.
Luckily, the cat flew out.
Yeah.
we couldn't find him. It was Amadeus. I don't know if you ever heard us talk about Amadeus,
Mm-mm.
but we couldn't find him.
Aw, poor kitty.
Oh, it sucked. He was my Maine Coon kitty.
Y'all have had all these experiences. Fuck, I ain't got shit on
You
that.
probably have had stuff happen, but you just haven't paid attention to them.
Yeah.
Your mind will protect you from scary stuff. It takes it up and it boxes it away
Mhm.
because you can't deal with it. It has no idea how to deal with it because it doesn't suit like our view of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These things are outside of it, so it protects you from it. Well, that night that we went to the bridge and stuff, we had something happen here at the house.
What? Oh, I forgot.
The thing flew across the room. You know that stand-up pop tent?
Oh, Jesus.
It stands up
Oh,
by
yeah.
itself, and it's wedged against the wall in my bookshelf. It can't move. It's been there literally for like 6 years. And it has
It's never
like,
been moved.
Chinese lanterns, Japanese lanterns on top of it, and it just flew across the room, and the Japanese lanterns just fall straight down. And now, if it had fallen, they should have flown forward,
Right.
but instead they go straight down because it is literally just.
Oh, Jesus.
And
It's
I
like pulled
heard
out
it.
and fell.
I heard it, and I was like, meh. There's nothing I can do about it. I was gonna go back to sleep. Just ignore it. And Becky's like, Angie, Angie, did you hear that? And I was like, yes, Becky, go back to sleep.
Well, I just thought for a second.
She said, do you want to get up and check on it? I was like, it's dark. No.
Well, no, I was worried that either somebody had busted the window open.
It sounded like my back door broke.
Yeah, or like something had busted through the window. And I was like, if something's busted through, we can't just leave the window open.
And
Like,
when you remember, I was reading about the goat man. You saw the picture. And it was talking about how he would break through back doors. And so I'm thinking something hit the side of the house and the back door so hard,
Mm-hmm.
it like caused that to fall. That's what I think, because there's a hole in the side of my house.
you know what? We all messed up. Bobby's the only one who ordered holy water and is the only one who didn't have a weird ass experience after we went.
Yeah, but he's having his now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's just starting to see shadow people.
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Yes, you did.
On the bridge and shit, yeah, but not my own personal space.
The guy walking around.
No,
in
that
the
wasn't
brown
shadow.
suit.
No, he was he had complexion.
He had a
That's all.
complexion.
I will fucking shit in my pants right now. Do not start this shit with me.
I
I
don't
will
know.
go to an asylum like that.
I don't know if it's because I grew up most of my life like in Savannah, but it's always been like weird shit with ghosts happening around like the house. Like even my great grandmother's old house, we would have stories about when she passed away, people would stay in the house, and she loved this one record that was on like a VHS tape or something. And like
Sure.
they would be staying in the house and like they were about to sell the house. Suddenly they would hear this singing that starts happening. And it sounded like my grandmother singing.
Mhm.
Well, they would go back there and the radio would be on, but it wouldn't be playing anything. So they would turn it off and go back. So it would be like an alternate thing where the tape would start playing
Mhm.
or they would hear singing and it would sound like my grandmother. So, or it's my great grandmother. So it's been always like even my grandmother would tell, like my grandmother got me into like the supernatural, and she's always told me stories about ghosts that people have seen in our family. She's always bought me ghost books. She was started way early in my life.
Well, speaking of family, Bobby, I'm going to play your mom's story.
Oh yeah, sure.
So-
Yeah, I've never had any paranormal experiences, but my mom has had some spoopy stuff happen to her back in like the late '80s, early '90s when I was a child.
Hey everyone, it's Bobby. This week on the podcast, we're doing like spooky paranormal stories, like real ones. I don't have any, but my mom has a couple from a few years ago. I'm gonna let her tell you the stories. Happened all within like the same year or two. But here she is.
Hi, everyone. I started working as a food service director at a hospital. And my first experience was when I was just starting there, probably a week into my job, and I was putting things away in the storage room. We had a delivery, and I put everything up, and I was about to leave. And as I was walking to exit the room, I felt like somebody actually pushed me from behind. And I thought to myself, wow, that was weird. It wasn't like I tripped on anything, but that somebody actually felt like they pushed me. So I didn't think much about it. I sort of laughed it off. And a day or two later, I was sitting down with the staff and another lady from one of the other departments, and they said, "Hey, did you tell your new boss about our ghost?" And I thought, what is she talking about? And came to find out that there was a young girl that had committed suicide in one of the rooms, and this girl was haunting our facility. I thought that was strange, and I told them the story, and they thought it was the ghost, which I didn't really believe. Well, as I worked there for a couple of years, several things happened to me. One other time was when my cook was standing outside of the building and wouldn't go into the department. And I thought, well, that's strange. What's going on? And she said, "I am not walking into that building, not by myself." And I thought, what happened? She said, "I walked in there and all the papers from the desk and the table started flying all over the place." And I started laughing, and she said, "No, I'm serious. I'm not going in there." And I walked in to find all the papers that were flown all over the floor. And she said she actually saw the papers flying off the tables. So that was my second experience. The third experience was when I went upstairs, which is where the girl had committed suicide. And I was walking up with our maintenance man, and we walked up and we went onto the floor, and this sound was really eerie. It started, it sounded like a ghost who went, "Woo." And I thought, why are you doing that? And I poked the maintenance guy in the shoulder. I said, "Don't do that. That's not funny." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That woo sound. That's not funny." He said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So we were walking through, and all of a sudden, the two of us are together, and we both hear this sound of the woo through the building, and the two of us were pushing each other aside, trying to run down the stairs, because we were not staying upstairs. And I thought that was pretty much, proving to me that there really was a ghost there. And then they tore the building down, and we built a new one, thought, the ghost probably didn't follow us. And we were in the new building, and I was talking to one of my friends, and we were in, near the exit room, and there's a sign saying exit over the exit door. And we were quite a few feet away. Now, usually if something falls down, it falls straight down to the ground. But the exit sign actually flew off of the sign, and it flew across the room, landing right at our feet. Well, that certainly did scare me. I really didn't want to stay in that building by myself, so I exited very quickly. And those are my experiences of supernatural things that have happened to me, which I hope I will never have to experience again. Thank you.
No, because I didn't know if it
Oh God, how do I finish recording?
Why is it all ghosts decide not to just drop things? They have to throw them.
They've got to fling them across
I
the
know,
room.
because they're attention whores.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if literally, okay, if the light up here happened to fall, just fall. Okay, that's just some kind of malfunction. Something somewhere messed up, easily explainable. Something flings across the room? That's a little less explainable.
No, that's the wind. It's clear the wind.
The wind blew.
The wind.
Face the wind.
It's the wind.
Yeah, that's a little less explainable than that the screws in the light corroded away and it just fell.
Or maybe they have to get so much energy to move something and they can't really gauge it because they're trying and they're passing through. So they're like...
like you watch the Ghost?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. With
Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, with Patrick Swayze.
And he's trying to get...
He's trying to just get things to move, and he gets angry and finally smacks the can, and the can...
You know it's my dad, right? Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze because of what? The hair?
Yeah.
And we'd have similar faces.
Because of the hair?
That would make so much sense, Bobby. And you don't know because you were adopted. So
I fucking hope so. I'm going to sue him for so much goddamn money with my father.
He's dead.
I'll sue his estate.
It's probably been probated. But okay.
Anyways, Bobby.
That's my Paul.
Anyways.
I feel like it's just funny because everybody has a ghost story. Everybody, you could go back in time a million years and somebody's had a ghost story.
Wait, did cavemen see ghosts?
Probably.
What do they see, like ghost dinosaurs?
No, they drew horrifying things on cave walls.
Yeah.
They saw some fucked up things.
Oh, I mean, when I was a kid running around my aunt's at night playing hide and seek with my sisters, you would run into things that weren't there. I'd be running. I'd look behind me to see my sister. All of a sudden,
Jesus Christ, you scared me.
I'd smack into a tree. I'd get up. No tree there.
Fuck that.
What
shit.
the hell did I hit? I hit a freaking the ghost lady that attacked my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point in time, my aunt was attacked by
Spoopy ghost lady.
a spoopy ghost lady, and she was in the shower. She hit her with, I can't remember exactly what she hit her with, but she had picked something up from the bathroom and hit her with it and knocked her out in the bathtub.
Holy
Christ.
shit.
That's aggressive. I need a drink.
So ghosties.
I mean, it's about like that picture.
Oh, speaking of like the White House and stuff, the White House is supposedly haunted by like Lincoln and stuff.
Yeah, they say you could see Abraham Lincoln.
There's also
Why can you see Lincoln?
Because he's super famous. He's got a cool ass beard and a dope hat.
Lincoln only appears right before a tragedy.
Yeah.
So if you see Lincoln
You're fucked.
or you see a big black cat, something terrible's happening to the country.
Yeah.
Why would
They
you
said they
see-
saw Abraham Lincoln 2 days before 9/11 happened.
Fuck that.
They also saw him right before Pearl Harbor was bombed.
Yeah.
He always shows up when something.
Because remember, he died in tragedy. So it's probably like.
I understand that.
right before Reagan was shot when the attempted assassination. He saw Lincoln. That's why he was on guard.
Yeah.
Fucking ghosts make no sense to me anyway, so
They
it's
don't.
okay.
They're just energy.
I just don't know if I would want a ghost to appear in front of me and like I see it and it's like impending doom, time to go. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
I would shit my pants,
Hopefully, before Trump starts using his new presidential.
By the way, I
phone
never
alarm.
got that message.
You didn't get it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
got
either.
it.
I got it.
Wait,
You
do you have an
didn't either?
Android? You guys have
No.
iPhones?
I
have
have
an
Android.
Android.
Oh, I didn't got it. I never got it.
I figured that he knows how much I loathe him, and it's mutual, so he's gonna leave me to die.
They saw how much porn's on my
Well,
phone.
apparently he's been.
Can't you just block like that number he sent it from?
No, because
No,
it's like part
a-
of your phone.
It's it's an emergency alert thing.
Well, would that make going back to ghosts? Would that make Abraham Lincoln like a banshee then?
No, he's just a harbinger.
A harbinger of death?
he
Oh,
would be a
great.
he's a good bean
Hey,
though.
he's-
He's a good bean.
I was about to say he's like the things in Odd Thomas.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you see his wife Mary Todd, she does cry like Banshee. Mary Todd cries.
Fuck
oh
that.
God, I
So
got
you
shivers.
can see her, Abraham Lincoln, the black cat, and the black cat isn't just like blue size; it's a huge leopard.
Well, remember we've talked about that. You can also we've seen hellhounds in our area. Like you've seen them.
What?
Mhm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. They're also harbingers
Yeah.
of
Can I
doom.
pet them?
No,
You don't want to because they bring doom.
But they're puppers.
no.
They're nasty,
No.
scary puppers, big puppers.
I saw dogs
big
one
old
time.
doggos.
When I was in a group home when I was 15 to almost, I guess 14 to 6. It doesn't matter. I was in a group home down in Macon, which was at the time it was a hotbed of satanic activity. And one of the girls who lived just down the hall from me, her dad had just been arrested for leading the satanic cult, and for human and animal sacrifice.
Wow.
So I'm like, that's whatever. She's nice. Her name was Joy. She was nice. She went to church all the time, but she would also randomly get weird. So she didn't have a roommate.
I
None of us
randomly
were
get
ever
weird.
alone with her. But one of the
Sorry.
house mothers there had horses she kept on the property, and they
Mhm.
were back down this dirt road, easily walking distance though. And since I had
Mhm.
experience with horses, I was the one during the week, and on the weekends she'd have feed them because she couldn't
Mhm.
make it all the time.
Yeah.
I was walking down to feed the horses one day, and I get to the stables, and these dogs run at me out of nowhere. Huge black dogs. Just not, and then just were gone. Well, I went and got my friends to come with me. I was supposed to go by myself, because she didn't want other people
Yeah.
down there on the horses.
Right.
But I went back, and Yes, I had a boyfriend at the time, and I got him, and then my roommate and her boyfriend.
She was
And-
confused.
Oh, well. You know what? You needed protection. He was like the baddest guy there.
Nice.
Gotcha.
This group home was for kids who had committed serious crimes. They would have been tried as adults, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So right before they decided whether they would be tried as adults or kids, they were kept here at this group home. And all I had done was kiss a girl while being in foster care. So my roommate had murdered her stepfather and her mom. The guy I dated had murdered his dad, and then her boyfriend had killed his brother. So, I mean,
seems like you shouldn't have been out with those people.
Seems like maybe. So yeah, when the baddest guy there was like, "Do you want to be my girlfriend?" Sure.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Protection.
It was kind of protective for me, but he was also a super nice guy.
I feel like you could go anywhere in our state. I don't know if it's just because it's the deep south. There's some creepy shit going on. Even going to the Fox Theater in Atlanta, they're doing ghost tours for Fox Theater right now because of because it's October. And you could go and stand in we were in the bathroom and standing at that bottom step, and it was weird. Like, it felt weird, like just weirdly oppressive. And then it was gone. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just where we live, or maybe like when you start seeing shit, everything just starts to you become sympathetic to it, or empathetic.
Empathetic, yes.
Well, when we had all walked back down to the barn, I fed the horses, and there's some barn cats, and I couldn't see the barn cats, but fed the horses, let them out, covered them with the blankets because it was getting a little cold, and we were coming up, and then whatever the boys saw, and of course everybody's making fun of me for scary dogs, and then suddenly I'm being picked up, thrown over his shoulder, and he took off running. I don't know what they saw because I couldn't see. But I do know as we ran by a bush, something reached out of it. And I'm just like hitting him like, run faster!
Like a horse?
Yeah.
You were hitting him like a horse to go faster.
Well, no one's ever scooped me up like that. I mean, at the time I was really small.
Yeah.
I wasn't adult size. I was fun size. I didn't hit my growth spurt until I was 17. So I was still like 5 foot tall.
I don't know. You're
And
still
like,
5 foot tall.
I know, but I was like 110 pounds. I'm not still 110 pounds. But he was just, phew, and I was like, this motherfucker just picked me up. It was scary, but Becky's right. No matter where you can go around here, I was just thinking,
it's crazy.
We could go to Powers Crossroads and ghost hunt next.
The fuck's that?
That's why. That's the way I went home.
By J.D. Walton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why you had the spoopy fog.
Powers Crossroads is an old Civil War battlefield site.
Nice.
And it's where one of the big generals died. It wasn't Stonewall Jackson, but it was one of the big ones on Sherman's March. A lot of people died at Powers Crossroads.
Yeah, they had. But there's also one like 3 miles from me that was also a big battle. Was it Shea Crag? No, it wasn't Shea Crag.
I still think we should go to Griffin, Georgia, like Becky suggested, because Griffin is notorious for
crime. But going off that,
and satanic activity and ghosts.
Yeah. Henry County, and also McDonough.
Y'all are trying to get me possessed.
Well,
That's
McDonough also has
Moreland.
The
no
square.
Possession.
McDonough in Georgia is also one of the most haunted squares because there was a huge train wreck that occurred that like 100 people or so died. Because it was like the train went over what was a river at the time, and all those people drowned, and the people they tried to save were brought into that. It was a wooden
trestle bridge, and it broke.
Yeah,
and they just fell like the 100 feet down into the river.
Now, go ahead.
I was gonna say is haunted squares the spoopy equivalent of Hollywood squares?
That would actually be hilarious.
Yes.
When Bobby is the one that sighs, you have a problem. I was gonna say though, if you go to Griffin, because I work there a lot. There's a haunt there called Sinister Suites that they do every year. That's in an old haunted hotel.
Nice.
That last year we went wasn't so scary, but when you go in the hotel itself, it's weird. Like
it is.
It feels like something out of like Vampire the Masquerade.
Well,
that game's great.
Well, and that's also where they have Vampire the Masquerade, the LARP.
Yeah.
You made a lot there in that hotel. Down there in Griffin. But yeah, they have a waiting room, which used to be the old dining area of the hotel.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's so odd feeling.
I don't know if it's these old buildings, though. Like, just the old feeling you get in the buildings. Like, I don't know.
The older the building is, the more energy it's
Yeah.
absorbed.
It's probably seen. We talked about that with Dragon Con. There was a guy there who said that it's not necessarily spirits you might be seeing. It might be just the energy that was left there. So if you have a horrible murder in a house, it might be that the house just absorbed that energy, and that's what you're reliving is the murder.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dragon Con, we went to hear the Ghost Brothers talk, and he talked about an experience he had with a mirror.
Fuck that. No, don't bring that up. That shit's terrifying.
That's why you're asking Moreland
Yeah.
about whether he was smiling, because remember...
Well, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I wanted to see if he was different. He said he was standing, staring into a mirror, and suddenly his reflection just smiled like a Joker smile, and he was like, he just dropped. And I don't know, I never saw anything in a mirror when I was a kid, but I think because my grandma, like I said, was an Irish immigrant, and then on my other side is Native American and African American, and I feel like all that spirituality made me so terrified of mirrors and bells.
Yeah, I
Mirrors
don't.
and bells.
Yeah, since that Dragon
I am super terrified of mirrors now. Thanks.
Since that Dragon Con panel, I do not look at my mirrors at night.
Well,
No.
they say that the mirror is literally the reflection of your soul. So, and you can see things that you're not supposed to see because it's like a gateway.
Well, because a true mirror is made of the slowest moving liquid, but it is a liquid. And water is a very spiritual element. It draws energy. You can cross to the other side through water.
Yeah. That's why when you see scrying mirrors, a lot of times they're made out of that liquid.
That's why people get baptized. And you come up a new person because they're pulling the new you out of the water.
Yeah.
Literally.
And you get scrying bowls. They scry into the water. People
And
also
water.
a lot of people also use fire as a way to scry if that's where your energy goes. But a lot of people say you really you see a true reflection of what you're looking for if you look into the water. It's water.
And there's the game, the Three Kings game, where you set mirrors up, and then you might actually forget which one's the real you. Let's tell Bobby about this game.
I know that game. I read the creepypasta about
Yeah.
it. Not playing it. Thank you very much.
Months ago, I was all down for it. Now,
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm not receptive. Like, I don't get scared. I don't feel scared. It's like, I just think of it like scientifically, like, oh, something's happened. But you can still it's only been that one time when we were at last year where I was like, we need to go. Like, something is here. We have to go. It's not good. So I don't know if it's that, but I feel like I remove myself out of my body when weird shit happens. Like, I'm just seeing it from a third person's point of view. I'm not seeing it as it's happening to me. And I don't know if that's normal or not, but I don't know if something like that actually happened where somebody was like smiling in my back, what I would do. I don't know if I would just remove myself and be done, or if I would
crash the car. Probably.
I was scared shitless. I just flat out in a story.
When I saw the little girl, it scared me. Luckily, it was the morning, and I was driving to work when I first saw her. So
morning time was the only time I felt safe to be in my car.
Yeah, and I saw her, and I was okay. But I am seeing something in my car now, and I don't think it's her because it's shorter, and it sits behind the driver's seat. She always sat behind the passenger seat, and when I would look up, she'd be looking at me in the rear view. She would make eye contact, and she never had a look of like, I'm gonna fuck you up as soon as this is over. And Moreland, you remember when we were driving home that night, we heard something scritching back there. Like, something was in the back seat, moving shit, doing zippers, and making noise. And
it was probably her turning on the thing.
Well,
that could very well be what it is.
I told Angie, I don't know if I mentioned it when we were driving back, because me and Bobby and Bobby and Aiden were in a separate car. Angie and Moreland were in a car, and then Aaron had driven his own car. So when me, Aiden, and Bobby were driving back to our meet point, I didn't say anything to them at the time, but I told Angie later that while we were leaving and when we were coming out of the fog, I felt like I was being choked.
Jesus.
Remember I started coughing really badly? And I said, I don't know what's wrong. I just keep coughing. I didn't know what it was, but it felt like my throat was being squeezed. And I thought, well, maybe it's just like I'm having an allergic reaction to something. But as soon as we got out of the fog, it was like it just stopped. And it wasn't something I could capture. It was just a feeling I had in my head. I got so dizzy. And that's why I started driving a little slower, is because I couldn't focus on the road as well as I was before.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Well, for people who are familiar with ley lines, that area we were at is where two ley lines intersect. So it's always full of energy. It's supposedly ley lines are positive energy.
You think if
I think whatever uses it determines if it's good or bad.
Do you think if I go to that ley line cross point, and I unzip my pants and stick my butt up in there, I can absorb some of the good energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through your butt?
I think you're
Yeah.
definitely going to absorb
Is
the
it-
goat
is-
man.
Well, they say that in, like,
or a flaming ghost.
I guess, you know what? I would be curious to look at a map to where that area is to Savannah, because Savannah is also a ley line.
Mhm.
And they'll tell you that, like, where it passes through, there's a lot of haunted houses. And the Freemasons actually set up one of the cemeteries like that to fall upon the ley lines because of
Mhm.
the fact that they wanted to make sure that the energy was positive.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bonaventure.
Bonaventure Cemetery. Super pretty during the day. Real
Mhm.
creepy at night.
Aren't all cemeteries real creepy at night?
Sure.
I don't know. Some of them don't get that, like, feeling. I don't know.
I mean, one in Carrollton is literally right next to a pool.
We-
Public pool.
We had the one in Peachtree City that's right next to the Best Buy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had
Used to be a
no
church
idea
there.
that shit was there.
Yeah.
there used to be a church
And
right
I
It's
was
there.
just-
there's a
like-
hill that goes straight up. I'm like, oh, shit, there's a...
yeah.
There's a cemetery.
Yeah, no, I went over there. I went over there a couple times with my sister and my nieces, and I go, "This is a cemetery, but there's a pool, a public pool." Wait,
It's only because
wait,
they can't.
what?
My elementary school used to be right on a cemetery as well. Like, I think they ended up moving it now, but the way it used to be set up is that it was in like a forest.
Mm-hmm.
Like my elementary school had, like, our playground was in a forest, and then around the like there was a fence that fenced off like old graves. So we weren't allowed to go back there, but
gotcha.
it was there.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if it's just because, like,
Mhm.
everybody just got buried. Just depending on where you fell back in the day, that's where people got buried.
Well, you know, my childhood home, up until I was 2, we lived at this one place, and then we moved. My stepdad bought all this land down, going out. So,
Mhm.
you know, where you
Yeah.
go here to your house, you go down this road to go towards Grantville. And he bought all this land, set up cows, and he built a house there. Well, he bought the land for so cheap because a church had been there and it had burned down and killed a lot of people when it burned down. So that's where we put our biggest garden, was over where the church stood. So we were always constantly turning up stones and wood chips from the pew. One time we turned up pieces of the altar. It was really weird, but then there were 2 gravestones that sat, and you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
And there's 2, and they're the weirdest fucking gravestones you've ever seen. They come up into like a pyramid point, and they have big jewels that sit in them.
What the fuck?
I know. I was like, what? What is that?
That's weird.
So I always felt like the fact that we lived on a church ground. Oh, and we kept the church steps. They stayed in our backyard. So we would always
Why?
play on the church steps. Like the big concrete steps.
Well, they
And
all.
it's like, no wonder we always had experiences when we were kids.
Well, they say going like similar to that. Like Savannah is called it's literally called the city that was built on the dead because they're like the Revolutionary War, Native American fighting, the colonies, all of that because of the fact that it never burned during Sherman's march. They would just wherever the bodies fell, they just pile some dirt over it, and then when they moved the cemetery, they didn't actually move the cemetery, so it would just be there.
Yeah, they say to this day when they do home renovations, you're probably going to turn up bodies. And
Classy.
usually it's colonial soldiers, not
Yeah.
Civil War soldiers, which is weird. But you can't move them. So all you can do is fill them back over, and you can't do your home repairs because now your home's a historical site.
Lovely.
Savannah didn't feel so much haunted to me as creepy. Like something sleeps in the harbor.
Yeah.
I
Like
don't know how to
Cthulhu?
explain it. Yeah, but like one of the, old gods is asleep under that water.
I fucking hope.
It is the creepiest. It's like light doesn't go anywhere. You can see the whole park will be lit up and the light just stays here.
I'm telling you, I think we need to make a trip, all of us, to Savannah and just go.
Let's do it.
I'm okay
Marlon,
with
you
it.
in?
I'm okay with going.
Yeah.
to
What
Savannah.
are you guys thinking?
Probably later, maybe the beginning of next
Mhm.
year.
Down. I'll save up. And you
Okay.
get me that job.
I think you made a good impression, Bobby.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah.
I was drunk. I'm surprised.
I
was.
As were we all.
We were all very drunk.
Yeah.
Jesus, Bobby.
He wasn't there.
I would like
Uh,
for all of us to say the scariest thing that's ever happened to us.
Literally, what I've explained that
The thing in your backseat.
the thing in my backseat that scared the shit out of me.
going through airplane turbulence.
Ugh.
Like dropping like a couple 100
Mhm.
feet. That's always fun.
And I've been in car wrecks
Mhm.
and everything, and that
That was scary.
was the scariest thing.
I'm thinking. Go ahead. You go ahead and do one.
Well, this is weird. Of all the stuff that's ever happened to me, including hearing the dragging thing down the road one night, I was sitting on my bed reading. It wasn't even that late at night, and all of a sudden, out the back door, I heard meow. Meow.
Oh,
What
yeah.
the fuck says meow like that? I was talking on the phone with Becky, actually. She's like, go see what it was. I'm like, no.
No.
Because it's on the other side of a locked door. I'm good.
Hey, nothing says meow.
But the fact that whatever
Meow.
that was knew, oh, she'll come out for a cat.
Like, cats
And
will...
it had to do, yeah, it was like, meow.
They don't... You don't
Meow.
ever... Just, yeah, they don't
It's
say
so-
meow.
And I'm like, you know what does that? The goat man does shit like that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't need that in my life. I'm perfectly safe on this side of the locked door. And if it comes in, I'll shoot it. No. And then Chuki's staring at the door and the dog's just like, it's right out there.
Yeah, no.
I hate that
Like,
crap.
we ain't
Stop
gonna-
staring.
Ain't gonna play with it. A swamp thing.
I know what scared you.
What? Not the rattling tree. Is that what you were gonna say?
No, but that's funny as shit. No, it's when right after I moved in here, we were in front of the fireplace, breaking
Yeah.
it in. And the
breaking it in.
breaking it in. And the garage door was kind of open and you saw that guy through the door.
Oh, I forgot
That
about
ghost guy.
that. Oh my god, because I was gonna say that or the thing like that. What happened when in my bed one time, but not like in a sexual manner.
The thing that happened in that bed one
No,
time, that really
I forgot
scared
about
me.
that the door cracked open and it looked like somebody was peeking in, and I literally flipped my shit. I
So
was like,
you have a pervy ghost?
I mean,
When he was watching, Becky flipped her ever loving.
I don't flip my shit very often, but when I do, it's
No,
because there's a
it
pervy
scared
ass.
her. And she was like, I swear I saw a guy. And this is where that ghost, I had seen this at the poltergeist house. It was a
Mhm.
guy who wears a white shirt, blue jeans, and he's got kind of blonde hair, but he's always has this fucking creepy ass smile.
Yeah, you know what we ended up doing is that was right when Angie first moved in. The roommate at the time was also practicing pagan, and he got mustard seeds, and we put them in a bottle. You're supposed to put a certain amount of mustard seeds in a bottle and put it in front of your window because it compels the ghost to count the mustard seeds.
And then Amber brought me gargoyles. That's why I have the 2 gargoyles sitting at the doors.
Oh.
And honestly, I haven't had any problems since.
yeah,
I hear shit outside. Sometimes something will
Mm-hmm.
on my back door or meow, meow, or hit the back of the house so hard it breaks the siding and knocks shit over on the inside.
well, I do know something that also scared you really, really badly.
What's that?
That probably could be. It wasn't actually like supernatural. It was when we were. It was me, you, and Dan for New Year's Eve. You went out into the garage and the power went out.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It's scary.
That's scary anyways. You
We-
go
I've
somewhere and
never
all of a
heard
sudden the
Angie
power
scream
goes
that
out.
hard. Me and
Mhm.
Dan, I've never seen me and Dan
So I
like
said,
move that
"No,
fast.
no," because when I was a kid, and I guess it's because of where the house was built, I had a lot of terrible experiences with ghosts
Mhm.
and things. Just saying my name, it was really hard. I've always been really sensitive.
Didn't that psychic we saw when we went to Decatur tell you that you're like
Yeah,
a sponge of paranormal activity?
she did. She said they're all around you, and she said I can't wait to take you to the cemetery. But she was explaining it's less about it's about your aura, your energy, and the level your energy vibrates. So another thing she explained is why you see something and it disappears instantly is because you get scared and your energy ups a notch. So if this is your normal everyday and you get scared and it's like,
Mhm.
you're no longer at that level where you saw the thing that's here on this level with you.
Gotcha.
Well,
It made a lot of sense to me.
yeah.
I'm like, that's
Well,
some quantum shit right there.
Apparently the little girl didn't want me to see her because she kept scaring the bejesus out of me.
Mhm. We
Well,
saw
you
her
don't even
shadow,
know if that
though.
was because they do say that if you see yourself, it's your doppelganger, and you're not supposed to ever meet your doppelganger because that means impending doom as well.
I saw my doppelganger out the back door one time.
Fuck
I told
that.
Becky, I said I just saw myself.
I've been confused for people multiple times. Like there are a few people that worked at different Walmarts that I've had people come up to me. Like there was a lady that worked at Noonan Walmart, and my best friend worked there at the time. I was in the back with him in the break room. Lady walked up to me and grabs me on the shoulders to go, "Hey, how you doing?" I turn around and look at her, and I'm like, "Who are you?" And she goes, "Oh, you're not that person." I'm like, No, I'm not.
Well, it's also supposed to be like
you want to put your titties on me
yeah,
again?
yeah.
No, it was like an old lady, and she like grabbed me on the shoulders and like gave me the creepy old person massage, and I'm like, that was
Yummy.
That was
That's
weird.
terrifying.
Well, I mean, there's like the difference between being mistaken for somebody and then actually seeing yourself in your backseat or in your yard.
Mhm.
I haven't seen myself, and I really wouldn't want to because then I really do need to like probably get a haircut and stuff. Like that would probably I'd be like, no,
I definitely need a haircut.
I ain't good about that. I ain't
Six-
about that.
I
life.
don't. Mine's fucking gorgeous.
16th needs to get here. I need a haircut.
I
I was told by Tasha I'm literally not allowed to cut my hair. She has to do it for me.
Nice.
Right? I'm like, okay. Side note. Hey, Becky!
Hey,
Yeah.
Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook at The Free Rotation
Spotify.
Podcast. You
What
can
about
find us
Spotify?
on Twitter at The Free Rotation. You can find us on Instagram at The Free Rotation Podcast. We're also on YouTube.
Hey, did you
At
get
The
that
Free
shirt
Rotation?
printed yet that has all that on the back of it so
No.
we can read it?
You can also find us on Twitch at The Free Rotation. Hey, don't forget, guys, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link your Twitch Prime and subscribe
You can
for
also
free.
listen on Spotify.
Can you stop?
No, not until
We
you
be
acknowledge
geeks.
it.
We be geeks.
You know what, guys?
Libsyn.
We have about 50 to 60 other episodes at this point. You can find us all on that.
And
Go
our
listen to the
website.
end. And we're at thefreerotation.com for all this other information. Okay.
And
And
we're on
watch us
Weeby Geeks.
stream.
We're affiliates of Weeby Geeks.
We're also affiliated with Weeby Geeks. Check out all the other podcasts
I think
there.
probably Monday or Wednesday I'm going to stream Visage.
Oh, guys. Okay, I need you guys to actually
Oh,
watch Andy
Thank
stream
you for
this game.
tuning in. No.
No.
Yeah. it's gonna be
This
scary.
game is fucking scary.
Oh, yeah. What's it about?
It's literally a ever-changing haunted house that you have to explore to get out of.
I will be watching
You
for a
need to,
little bit.
you need to play it
Till it
tomorrow.
gets too scary.
No,
Play
I
it
gotta
tomorrow.
work. I gotta work
Okay.
early. I gotta work early Wednesday.
Oh.
So if you stream Monday, cool, awesome.
I'll stream Monday. I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Deal.
Hey,
Which means this will be out before.
Oh, hey
The
guys!
podcast.
If you check out this episode, make sure to check our VOD out and let's watch the video of Angie playing Visage.
Visage.
But it's super creepy. It's
Visage.
super scary. I'm gonna link it. I'll make sure to link it on our Twitter and our Facebook when she's playing it because I watched a couple people play this game and I have never heard grown men scream that hard.
I have.
Fuck that shit.
I've heard grown men scream that hard. Mainly,
Stop talking about you and Bobby in the bedroom.
I was just gonna say mainly because it was me last night screaming like a little bitch.
You know what? I actually know what has scared me the most in life. When we were shooting the calendar, and Scoop came out and said, "Who's gonna take my underwear off and put the bearskin rug on me?" Nobody, Scoop.
He is the bearskin rug.
Nobody. Do you remember that? He's like,
Yes.
"But who's gonna
I
take
wasn't
my
here.
underwear off?"
I'm glad I wasn't here for that. Just to be honest with
Like
you, I'm so glad I wasn't
The
here
rug
for
is
that.
gonna be covering you. Nobody's taking your underwear off.
And there was a slight disappointment that day. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
That's the cancer.
Jesus.
I'm down. I'm down.
It's just eating. They ate potatoes until they ran out of potatoes. Then they ate people and made leprechauns.
No, the potato famine happened. It's a legit thing.
Yeah,
They ran out.
and then
Oh.
leprechauns existed. That's what happened.
Yeah, because they ate people and they shit out little kids.
Okay.
That's
I
not
was-
how that works.
I was with you until that point, Bobby.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of that
I was
works.
in health class. My health teacher said that's how it works, and God bless him for it.
Plus, that guy, he probably also had booty babies.
Also, if you have premarital sex, your penis falls off. So that's why I'm still a virgin.
You gotta have.
I have had premarital sex plenty of times.
Well,
I still
you have
my
a
penis.
throbbing cock, so you're still a little different. Okay,
Okay,
it's got a baby
okay.
holding a fucking.
I'm gonna
apple.
ask what you were gonna say before this got to the weird part.
I
No, that's just the
honestly
vein
have
on
no
it.
idea.
So uncomfortable. You know what? I'm taking you for the Supreme Court for sexual harassment charges.
Oh no, he was
You
the elected
started
judge.
it!
If you took him to
You
the Supreme
finished it.
Court, would
He'd
end
be
up sitting
confirmed
on
as
it.
a Supreme Court judge. He'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. To get ahead in
This
this
is
country, we
depressing.
need
That this
to.
is what our country has
Yeah.
come to.